Hello there. Welcome to Stretch and Mobility. So you can do this workout, pre-workout, post-workout, pre-walk, any time of day. We're just going to get everything moving and hold our stretches a little bit longer. You can always hold them longer, especially if you're post-workout or post-walk. But this is kind of like you want to just get going for the day. You can do it in the morning, maybe in the evening, just to feel like, oh, I really got a really good mobility session. I got my joints lubricated and moving and stretched some of my muscles that may be tight. So let's get started standing. You can do this barefoot. You can do it in your jammies, but I just finished a workout, so I'm just in my sneakers. So we're going to start just in our nice, strong posture. We always want to start with our core engaged and just kind of our mind right. So use this time to just set your mind and your alignment and your breath here. So we're going to scan the body from the floor up and make sure we're holding tension in the muscles, not the joints. So you want to make sure your knees aren't locked out and that you're braced into your core, shoulders back and down. We're just going to start with some shoulder rolls. And while you're doing this, just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to really get the breath flowing, and you really need your breath on board here so that you can hold maybe your stretches a little bit longer and really help you connect to your body. Good, last one. Good. And then just bring your head from one side to the other. And notice how it feels if you're feeling tight on one side. And feel free to hold it to one side if you need a little bit more. Noticing if one shoulder lifts up, really just trying to have the shoulders down here. And come back up to center. Good. And we're just going to take arm circles. So we did shoulder rolls. You could repeat those here. I like to move that rib cage. You can also just do an elbow bent. So whenever I teach stretch and mobility, I like to give you a flow and then just have you expand on it and move at your own pace. So we're opening up the shoulder, just getting nice and open through the chest. This sometimes helps you deepen your breath. And last one. Good. We're going to go to a little cat-cow. So I'm going to have my feet a little further apart, fingertips to our temples, and I'm just going to round and open. I'll show you from the side. I like to do a few of these basics every morning, and I'm going to show you how you can do this in an all-fours position. But again, if you're short on time or you prefer something standing, this is a good way. And you want to make sure that you're not holding tension in your shoulders. So you're rounding. You don't need to bring those elbows together. Good. And opening one more time. And draw those shoulders back and down. Good. All right, we're just going to go up and over, side to side. So we worked the spine in a flexion and in extension with that cat-cow. Now we're just getting some lateral flexion. Feels good. Good. Let's add a little bit of a squat here. So add a little squat and then a side bend. Especially in the morning, if you're waking up, it doesn't have to be a big squat, setting those hips back. I like to do a few of these in the morning. Good. And let's just do one more. Good. Next one is going to be a good morning. So we're just going to have those feet apart, hip hinge, and come up. I'm going to show this from the side. Feeling for the crease at the hip. You can also have your hands here. It makes it a little harder. Just going slow and really feeling for that extension, really feeling the hamstrings and the hips go back and then squeezing up. These are also the foundations for squats and deadlifts. One more. And come up. Good. All right, we're going to bring the hands in front, feet apart, tuck the pelvis under, and we're just going to extend to one side and extend to the other, or twist. Almost like you're wringing out a towel. And then if you want to hold to one side and really feel for that air coming out as you twist. So working the spine in all these directions is so important. Good. One more each side. Good. And let those arms go. We're going to roll down. So this is, again, a little bit like a cat-cow. So you're going to drop your chin to your chest and roll, almost as if you're peeling yourself off a wall. Now, we don't have to move together. I like a shoulder roll at the top there, so we get a little extension through the spine. Now, there's no benefit to touching your toes if it's going to strain your back. So you're just going to tilt the head almost as if you're doing a roll up on the floor. It's a great way to get your spine going. Keep that core in. Tuck the chin round, round, round. And then roll back up. And roll those shoulders. Let's do one more. And this time we're going to go all the way down and hold it there. I'm going to put our hands on the floor and come down to a downward facing dog. So you're going to press your heels down, and right away, if you want to get some movement in, just start pedaling the feet. You know, your gaze can be at your hands. In yoga, we usually take our gaze to our knees or our ankles, but if that makes you dizzy or lightheaded, we don't want that. And then just sink those heels down, and then maybe come up and down on both toes. This is great for your ankles. It's okay if your heels don't touch down to the mat. Now, if you're really super uncomfortable here, you can stand and do some calf raises just to get going through the feet. Good. We're going to bring our knees down gently. Good. And we're going to come into all fours. So your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and we're going to do that cat and cow again here. I'm just going to ask you to move at your own pace. Now, if you're uncomfortable with your hands on the ground like this, you can do a few things here. You can elevate your surface by rolling up a mat or a towel and putting that under the palms or the heel of your hand. We're not really putting a lot of pressure here. Or you can make a fist if that feels more comfortable for you, or hold on to a little dumbbell. Otherwise, just spread your fingers. Good. And come to neutral, meaning you're just reaching through the crown of the head. And we're going to open up the knees a little bit and come into child's pose. So in the morning, I would go child's pose to hips forward, or a little up dog if you want. Again, just to get going. Having the knees apart makes it a little bit more friendly for the quads if they're tight, but it also works the hips a little more. Good. Good. And then just sink into your child's pose. And let's bring our arms over to one side. And then bring them to the other side. Getting a nice stretch through the obliques. Feeling those hips open up a little bit. Good. And we're going to come back to all fours. And we're going to do a little spinal rotation. So we're going to bring our fingertips to our temples. Bring the hips back a little bit, and we're opening And then we thread that elbow through just to get everything going. Again, this is a little bit more mobility, but I'll show you the thread the needle if you want to maybe just hold that arm through. We'll do that at the end. This is a great one to do in the morning. It opens up the shoulder. I like having the knees a little wider on this one. And now bring that whole arm up and then thread it through and then bring it back up. So I like to do maybe 4 or 5 with the bent elbow and then 4 or 5 with the straight arm. So notice I'm going up slowly when I open up, and every time I bring that arm up, I'm trying to open that shoulder a little more. So many times I see this, and that does nothing but strain our shoulder. So you want to thread, really bring the elbow up and then up, and then bring it down, and now you can hold this one. And this is the typical thread the needle. You can have this free hand at your side, or you can put it on the lower back, or you can bring it up. But again, you don't really need to, if you want to go a little further, you can. But if this feels good and it's not too much pressure on your head, your neck, your shoulders, then just stay here. And let that breath flow. Now come up, bring that arm up, and switch sides. Good. All right. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side, bringing the fingertips to the temple and open and thread. I'll show you from this way. And I'm inhaling and then exhaling as I rotate. Feels so good on your shoulders, on your mid-spine, thoracic spine particularly. And I'm just kind of bending that supporting elbow just to thread that other arm right through. Now when you're ready, open up and then thread through. Maybe your head, your neck, your shoulder comes down, and every time you go a little deeper, maybe you get a little warmer. Good. Beautiful. And let's do one more and hold it there and just sink. Feels so good. Just keep this hand either down. Again, you can bring it up, or you can bring it on the small of your back for a little wrap. And relax the muscles of your face. Sink into that shoulder and that side stretch. Go ahead and bring that hand down. Come on up. Good. All right, let's change position. Come on to your back. Again, these are just some of the essential ones I like to do in the morning. And again, post-workout, they're great too. All right, we're going to have our feet down and arms are down. We're just going to do some shoulder bridges. So peeling your spine up, pressing into the feet and coming down. So the first few, just keep it moving. And you want to come up just to the shoulder blades. Don't feel like you have to force anything. Your hands are relaxed and you shouldn't feel any tension in your neck here. Just move at your own pace. If you like to feel for those hips up, you can hold it there. So if you're feeling tension in your neck, just reassess your form. And then on the next one, if it feels good for you, you can hold it up. Make sure your heels are pretty close to your glutes there. And just hold. This is one that I love to do in the morning because my back feels tight. This really loosens it up. If this is too much pressure, just keep moving up and down. In yoga, we usually take the arms under and interlace the fingers. You can do that option if that feels good for you. Your heart rate will go up a little bit here because your glutes are working a little and your quads. Stay with your breath. And then slowly release. And then let your hips come down and then hug your knees in. And see how I'm hugging behind my knees. You can hug here, but But if you have any knee issue and it doesn't feel good, you can hug behind the knees. One of my favorites for the hips, you're going to take your feet super wide. Like if you have a mat here wider than the mat, arms come out to a T, and we're going to drop the knees from one side to the other side, keeping your head, neck, and shoulders down. So you want to keep those shoulder blades your centering point. This is a good one to do in the morning because hips tend to be tight. And this is a good reclined position to do this one in. It's like a 90-90 stretch. Good. And then bring your knees into your chest. Good. Rock side to side. Give your low back a little massage and then roll yourself up. Good. All right. So we're going to build on that 90-90 stretch. So I'm going to face this way. So you're going to have one shin here, one here. And it's okay if this knee pops up. So you're just going to gently press it down. And if it feels good, maybe walk the elbows down over that shin. If you're a little tighter, you might be over the knee, and that's okay. A-okay. So I like to hold it there in the morning or post-workout. Good. And then bring it up. And then to get to the other side, you can bring your hands back and go to the other side. Okay? As we get a little further, we will not use the hands if you don't want to. Again, you can stay here and just gently bring that knee down. I'm a little tighter on this side, so I typically spend a little more time on this side. And then walk it down, making sure that you're not holding any tension in your head, neck, or shoulders. You should be feeling a deep stretch in your outer thigh and hip. Come on up. And then you can have the hands behind you or bring your hands in front. That's a little harder. And we'll do that again. So you're going to hold it. And you can hold it as long as you want. But if you do this a little bit in the morning, it goes a long way. It really helps with your hip health and mobility. It'll help your running. It'll help lower back pain if you have any lower back pain. So we're going to come to the center. Another one I love to do if I don't have a lot of time is just bring that knee down. It's kind of like what we did on our back. So it's another really good one to do. And you're just bringing the knee down. Now I'm a little warm, so I can bring the knee down. In the morning, I can't, and my hip will come up. So just go down where your knee feels it can go down without popping the hip, okay? So sometimes that just takes a little more time. Good. Chest is nice and open. Good. Good. All right, we're going to stretch out. Another thing I really like to do is stretch my hamstrings. We did a few hamstring stretches in downward facing dog, but this one I really like to do with my legs forward. You can bend the knees for this one. So if you have tight hamstrings, you can bend the knees and hinge forward. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the back. A lot of people like to grab their toes, but you don't have to grab your toes. I don't know where that comes from. Probably grade school when we thought we were flexible if we touched our toes, but has really nothing to do with hamstring flexibility because I can touch my toes with my legs straight, but I'm really not feeling my hamstrings here. So you want to get the hinge, and then if you want to reach the toes, you can. Straighten the knees, and then roll it up. And just do this a few times, see how you feel. So we want to get that hinge, and then you can fold a little bit more into it. So it's like you're folding yourself in two. So do this a few more times. If you want to make it harder, you're going to bring your arms up, hold the hinge, not here. You're hinging from the hip and your shoulders are down. this might be enough of a stretch for you. Then you can fold. And roll it up. Let's do that again. So you're feeling a nice stretch in the back, definitely hamstrings. Let those shoulders melt down the back and then fold. So you want to fold yourself in two. So you want to bring your ribs to your thighs. Again, you can be here. Bend the knees and then, see if you can straighten them a little bit. Reach through the crown of the head. You can flex your feet, get a little bit more through the calf here, and roll it up. Nice job. Those shoulders back. All right. I like to stretch my quads on my side. So you can just bring it to your elbow or all the way down and just bring that heel in. Stretch the quads, making sure your knee and hip are in line. You can also do this stretch standing. Now, if you're super tight, you may just want to take a break, come back. And then you hold it to a point where it's a little bit hard to hold, but then you can let your breath go, you can let the stretch go. Okay, so quads need to get those flexible for your knee health. And your lower back. They're all tied together. And release it. Let's roll to our stomach before we go to the other side. And we're just going to do a little back extension. So your hips are down. I have them a little apart. Toes are pointed. And you're just going to come to a little back extension here. Now, if this is too much, just bring your elbows out a little bit, but still reach through the crown of the head. So the more of the rib cage on the ground, the more of an extension, or the less of an extension you have. Good. Now I like to keep things moving in the morning. So I'm going to take my fingertips to my temples and I'm going to lift and lower. And I'm lifting and lowering my chest. My head just goes along for the ride. I have a deep squeeze in my glutes and my hip bones are down. My abdominals are contracted. We're going to come up and then take the hand closest to me, reach it to your outer thigh or your hamstring, bring it in and down. And do that on the other side. Up, reach. And this is great for your shoulders, great for your back. This keeps your lower back in good shape. So everything we do during the day tends to be forward flexion. We're reaching for something. We're over a device. We're unpacking groceries. So this is the opposing movement. And a little goes a long way. Bring it down. And now we're going to counter that with a little child's pose. So you want to counter your extension with flexion. So come into child's pose. Now this time I have my knees closer together. And making sure that we're not holding tension in our shoulders. So if my arms are too far forward and my shoulders up, that's going to create tension here. So you can take your hands a little wider. And let's come into that up dog here. And keep this moving now. Going back into child's pose. And then into up dog. Now, if you didn't like this position, you can go to that back extension. You would just have to lower the chest. One more. Shoulders down. Good. We're going to go to the other side. So I really like that variation of the back extension because it gets your shoulder and then you reach back and you're getting a little rotation. So give that one a try. You can also do that one standing, and I'll show you that. All right, so you can be all the way down and you're just gently pressing that heel into your glute. This is great for overall knee health, but know your knee. Know when you're going too far. You could also do this one in a prone position. It's a little more intense, so you can always give that one a try. And release it. Good job. Come on up to all fours. Do a little cat and cow here. Always feels good to do some of this in between. So we got hamstrings, we got quads, hips, shoulders. We're going to do hips one more time before we end. So we're going to take this position where you have this quad facing front and this heel and toe facing that way. And you're just going to lean into it a little bit. The nice thing about doing this at home is that you can pad up that knee on the bottom if you need a little bit more. And then hold it here. Hold this heel down, okay? And see how far you can go here. And then bring your hand down and go into a little windmill here. Now you can stay here. If you need to back off a little bit. And you want to make sure you keep this heel down. So I like to maybe hold it. This is great for your ankle mobility. And come up, do that one more time. You can do it as many times as you want, or you can just stay up. Really good for your hips. And again, the ankle mobility here. And come on up. Good. Let's go the other side. So you want to imagine a straight line between heel and knee. So first version of this, I just like to kind of push back and forth, get that mobility going. And then when you're ready, maybe holding it. And again, making sure that heel is down. Maybe going into your little windmill here. I'm a little more flexible on this side. So I can feel already I'm going a little deeper. And you can come up, roll those shoulders. Again, this is very individual. You hold it as long as you can and go as deep as you need to feel it. This is a good one for ankle mobility because that has to do a lot with squats. So mobility really will help all your workouts too. It'll help your walking and running, all your movement. And bring it back. Good. All right. We're going to come into the world's greatest stretch. So come into your down dog. And I like to do this one from a three-legged dog position. So bring one leg up, look up and under that arm, and then bring that foot forward and go into your runner stretch. Now you can always drop the back knee, but the nice thing about having that back knee up is you can stretch that calf and ankle on this side. So yes, you may be feeling it a little bit more through the hips here, but you're pushing that heel back. This leg is straight and the front one is bent. Now you can open up here. And I like to go into a pyramid from here. So I bring my foot in and I fold over the front leg. If this is uncomfortable for you, you're going to be here. Okay, this is stretching out the front leg. So here or pyramid. And again, there should be no surprise here. You're folding forward. So however far forward you came in a seated position, you're probably the same about here. Bring both feet together and slowly roll it up. Whew. And we're going to go to that down dog again. This time we'll walk it out. So remember that roll down we did? Roll. Walk those hands out to your down dog. You can pedal those feet again. Again, notice if you're holding tension in the shoulders, we're going to bring that other leg up and open up. And then bring that knee in, the foot in for your runner stretch. Hips are tight. And then have that front knee over your heel. And you can bring that arm up. And the more you push that heel back, the more you're going to feel your calf stretching. And you can either have that arm up or just really hold that stretch here. Again, you can have your back knee down, and then we're going to go into pyramid, folding forward right over that front leg. Again, your option is to bend the back leg, and you can even hold onto your toe. A lot of people like to do that, but it really matters is the hinge is going to make that stretch deeper. Then you can grab that toe, pull it in for a little calf and ankle. And then roll it up. Open up that chest a little bit. Feels good. So check the time. Oh, we're at 30 minutes. A little stretch and mobility. I'm going to show you one more stretch for your calves. So just round the back here. Open the chest. This is another one you can do at your desk. I think you're getting the feeling, the idea that we work the spine a lot in this session to just really get everything going for your back health, for your joints, happy, healthy joints. All right, you could do that standing calf stretch here. Front knee bent, back heel straight. I'll show you from the side. This is another really good one, and you can hold on to something here, chair, dresser, and just feel that nice stretch through the calf. Keep that heel down. You can even bend the knee and keep the heel down. You'll feel it a little deeper in the Achilles tendon. I like to do that one, especially if you're doing, like you're going to play pickleball or something like that. Let's do the other side real quick. Your feet are apart. They're on like an imaginary railroad track. So you don't have one foot behind the other because that would be really hard to balance. And you'll feel for how far apart the feet need to be to feel this stretch. And then I like to bend that back knee, but keep the back heel down. Again, feeling it in the Achilles tendon. Great for tennis players, any runners, just anything where you're maybe sprinting, moving quickly, tennis, racquetball. It's a good one to do. And again, good for your ankle mobility. All right. Good job. And let's just open up and close. Another version of a cat and a cow. And inhale up. Reach for your wrists and just take a side bend here. If it feels good, you can go all the way down to the floor and do a little body circle. Let's do that one more time. And reach for the other hand. Hold. Just get that nice side stretch. If you didn't want to go all the way to the ground, you could do like a partial, like a little halo. Okay, so do that a couple of times. See how that feels. Again, a lot of this is about experimentation. I like to give you guys a bunch of options. And open up. All right, let's twist it out. Nice job. Let's take a deep breath up. Bring your hands to your heart center. And do that again. Bring your hands into your heart. Bring all that good energy in. I hope you enjoyed that session. You could do a lot of those like mobility moves every day. You can do it at the end of a workout and maybe hold the stretches a little bit longer. So I hope I gave you some ideas, and it definitely helps with just breath work and relaxation, your mind-body connection. And, if you can get more mobility in your chest, your shoulders, your back, you're going to have better results when you put weights in your hands, when you go out for a run, when you play your sport. So it's all part of it. So have a great day. I hope this was very stress-free and relaxing for you. And make sure you hydrate, drink some water. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on my website, fitwithchristina.com. There's a contact form there. And then just really like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you love it. Share it with a loved one. And I will see you next time.